She once walked red carpets with Kevin Costner, turning heads as the striking woman on the arm of one of Hollywood's most bankable stars. But after their high-profile split, she vanished from the spotlight, leaving fans wondering, whatever happened to Kevin Costner's ex-wife? Well, brace yourself, because her transformation today is nothing short of jaw-dropping. The years have brought change, strength, and a new confidence that no one saw coming. She's not just the ex-wife anymore. She's rewriting her own story, and the latest chapter might just leave you speechless. From baseball dreams to box office king, the rise of Kevin Costner. Before the blockbuster movies, the Oscar wins, and the headline-making divorce battles, Kevin Costner was just a small-town kid with big dreams and no idea how far those dreams would take him. Born on January 18, 1955 in Linwood, California, Kevin grew up in nearby Compton. His mom, Sharon, was a welfare worker, and his dad, William, worked as an electrician before moving up to become a utilities executive. The Costner household was humble, rooted in faith and hard work. Kevin was the youngest of 3 boys, though one brother tragically died at birth. His family tree stretched back to German immigrants, with threads of English, Irish, Scottish, Welsh, and even Cherokee ancestry woven in. Kevin was raised Baptist and grew up singing in the First Baptist Choir. He wasn't exactly a star student, but he had heart. He played sports, especially baseball and football. He took piano lessons, wrote poetry, and always had a creative streak. But everything changed when he saw how the West was won as a kid. Something about the wide-open landscapes and old-school grit of Westerns sparked something in him, and that love would follow him for life. As his dad's job moved the family around California, Kevin spent his teen years bouncing between schools in Ventura, Visalia, and finally Villa Park, where he graduated high school in 1973. He played baseball there too, and even had a teammate who went on to pitch professionally. Still, acting wasn't on his radar yet. That would come later after college. Costner earned a business degree from California State University, Fullerton, in 1978. It was during his final year that he suddenly felt the pull toward acting and dancing. And fate, as it turns out, had perfect timing. On a honeymoon flight back from Puerto Vallarta, Kevin happened to sit near legendary actor Richard Burton. That encounter changed everything. Costner later recalled asking Burton whether it was possible to have a successful acting career without destroying your private life. Burton told him he believed it was. For Kevin, that was all the push he needed. He came home determined. He landed a job in marketing, then quit after 30 days. With his wife's support, he took up all kinds of side gigs to pay for acting classes, giving celebrity home tours, working on fishing boats, and even driving trucks. He poured himself into auditions at night and made it work however he could. His first movie role was a blink and you'll miss it part in Sizzle Beach, USA in 1981. But things slowly started picking up. He landed small roles in films like Night Shift and Testament. And although his scenes were cut from The Big Chill, that connection to director Lawrence Kasdan would later pay off in a huge way. Kasdan cast him in Silverado, a Western that became Kevin's breakout moment. That same year, he starred in Fandango and American Flyers, and started carving out a reputation as a charming, rugged leading man. By 1987, Costner officially made it. With his performance as Elliot Ness in The Untouchables and a star turn in No Way Out, he was suddenly a household name. Then came the 1-2 punch of Bull Durham and Field of Dreams, which solidified him as a bankable romantic hero, especially when baseball was involved. But his biggest gamble came in 1990. He directed and starred in Dances with Wolves, a sweeping Western epic that shocked Hollywood by becoming a massive hit, both critically and commercially. It was nominated for 12 Oscars and won 7, including Best Picture and Best Director. both for Costner. He wasn't just a star anymore, he was a force. From there, the hits kept rolling. Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, JFK, and the mega-popular The Bodyguard with Whitney Houston. Costner had his pick of projects, and for a while, it seemed like he could do no wrong. But even Hollywood royalty faces ups and downs. The mid-90s brought misfires like Waterworld and The Postman, the latter of which he directed. Critics pounced, and audiences weren't impressed. But Costner didn't stay down for long. He found steady ground again with projects like Open Range, a well-received Western he directed and starred in, and The Upside of Anger, where his emotional performance drew some of the best reviews of his career. He reminded everyone that when he gets the right material, he's still magnetic. Then, in 2012, Kevin made a major pivot to television with Hatfields and McCoys, a gritty miniseries that became a massive hit on the History Channel. The role earned him an Emmy, a Golden Globe, and a Screen Actors Guild Award. And in 2018, he took things even further with Yellowstone, a modern-day Western drama that's become one of the most watched shows on TV. As rancher John Dutton, Costner has introduced an entirely new generation to his acting range. But while Costner has some really good acting range when it comes to relationships and eventually marriages, let's just say he hasn't been lucky in that department. Inside Kevin Costner's tangled love life. To millions of fans, Kevin Costner is the ruggedly charming star of Dances with Wolves, The Bodyguard, and more recently, the brooding patriarch in Yellowstone. But behind that cool, composed on-screen persona lies a private life that's been anything but calm. Now 70, Costner has been married twice, fathered 7 children with 3 different women, and lived through more than his fair share of heartbreak, drama, and scandal. Most recently, fans were shocked when his second wife, Christine Baumgartner, filed for divorce after 18 years of marriage and 3 children together. At 49, Christine walked away from what many thought was a solid Hollywood union. But for Costner, it wasn't his first rodeo. His love life has been making headlines for decades. Long before Yellowstone and even The Bodyguard, there was Cindy Silva, Costner's college sweetheart. The pair tied the knot in 1978, back when he was still struggling to find his footing in Hollywood. As Costner's career skyrocketed, Cindy was right there beside him, raising their 3 children Annie, Lily, and Joe, and even appearing with him in Dances with Wolves. But after 16 years, their seemingly picture-perfect marriage crumbled. In 1994, the couple called it quits, and suddenly the tabloids lit up with rumors of infidelity. Word on the street was that Costner had a fling while filming Waterworld, specifically with a hula dancer on set in Hawaii. The whispers were never confirmed, but the damage was done. According to People magazine, Cindy had grown tired of the speculation and couldn't take the rumors any longer. Though neither party directly addressed the cheating claims, their joint statement painted a picture of civility. "We have amicably resolved all issues regarding our children and financial affairs, and a full marital settlement has been reached," it read. They also asked for privacy as they worked through what they called a painful part of our lives. But amicable didn't mean cheap. The divorce reportedly cost Costner a staggering $80 million, making it one of the most expensive splits in Hollywood history. Still, he walked away with shared custody of the kids, and both tried to maintain a united front for their family. Yet, the drama didn't end there. Just 2 years after splitting from Cindy, Costner found himself in the middle of yet another relationship scandal. This time with socialite Bridget Rooney, the niece of Pittsburgh Steelers owner Dan Rooney. Their romance was brief, but it left a lasting mark. In 1996, Rooney became pregnant with their son, Liam. Costner wasn't immediately convinced he was the father and reportedly demanded a paternity test to be sure. According to People, The test confirmed what Rooney already knew. Liam was his. She told the New York Times at the time, "I'm 110% sure who the father is. I'm just enjoying my pregnancy." Once the results were in, Costner reportedly set up a sizable trust fund for Liam and made an effort to be part of his life, though people noted that the visits weren't exactly regular. As for Liam, now in his 20s, he's kept a low profile. He's reportedly working as a real estate agent, staying far away from the Hollywood chaos that defined his early years. Costner may be known for playing the all-American hero on screen, but off-screen, his love life tells a much messier and more fascinating story. And the most fascinating on yet was his marriage to Christine Baumgartner. Costner and Christine Baumgartner's whirlwind marriage. After bouncing back from a costly divorce and that whole messy paternity scandal, Kevin Costner finally seemed to find his footing again, especially in the love department. Enter Christine Baumgartner, a model with striking looks and quiet charm, who caught his eye on a golf course in 1996 while he was prepping for his role in Tin Cup. It wasn't love at first sight. At the time, their paths didn't cross too deeply. But fate clearly wasn't done with them. 2 years later, they ran into each other again at a restaurant, and this time, something clicked. Costner once recalled in an interview with People that after their run-in, they exchanged numbers, and he asked her if it was okay to call her in 2 weeks. He laughed about how he hadn't realized that such a delayed call might be considered an insult. Apparently, Christine didn't hold it against him. The couple dated for about 4 years before hitting a major snag. Costner was already a father of 4, and Christine wanted children of her own. That became a sticking point neither could ignore. Costner would later admit in an interview with Parade that fear had kept him from marrying her. Christine made it clear she wanted a child, but he wasn't sure he could commit to being an effective father again. He remembered waking up one day, faced with the reality of losing the woman who was willing to be with him until his last breath, all because he was too afraid to say yes to having more children. Eventually, he came around. The two tied the knot in 2004 in a gorgeous ceremony at Costner's Colorado ranch. What followed was a new chapter of domestic bliss, with the couple welcoming 3 children, Caden, Hayes, and Grace. Despite his earlier doubts, Costner found joy in being a hands-on dad. In a 2022 interview with People, he explained that he didn't live like most would expect a Hollywood icon to. When he wasn't filming, he was on the freeway with Christine, shuttling the kids to their activities, or waiting outside for them to finish a party, twiddling his thumbs like any other dad. He made it clear that the world didn't revolve around him. But behind that picture-perfect family life, the cracks had already started forming. In May 2023, everything came to a screeching halt when Christine filed for divorce after 18 years of marriage. Their final public appearance as a couple had been just a couple of months earlier, on the Oscars red carpet in March. When the split became public, Costner's reps released a carefully worded statement. Circumstances beyond his control had led to the dissolution of the marriage. They asked for privacy as he, Christine, and the children navigated what they called a difficult time. But behind that statement, rumors swirled. Reports suggested the divorce had caught Costner completely off guard. According to sources quoted by Page 6, he had been blindsided. Apparently, he didn't want the divorce and would have taken Christine back if he had the chance. Those close to him painted a picture of a man who still loved his wife and was deeply hurt. So what went wrong? Why did this golden couple, with their sprawling Colorado estate and beautiful family, implode? Friends close to them said that the issues weren't sudden. They had been building for years. Career clashes were at the top of the list. Costner's work on Yellowstone was all-consuming. The show demanded his full attention, and Christine reportedly grew tired of always coming second. As Kevin's career hit a second wind, his dedication to family life seemed to wane. Some said he became more possessive over his projects, more withdrawn from the household rhythm. Christine, meanwhile, wanted more from her husband than red carpets and rushed phone calls from a set. Money became another sore spot. According to various reports, they disagreed over how their family's finances should be handled. Things got even more tense once divorce papers were filed, with Christine requesting a significant amount for child support and her own upkeep. From the outside, it may have looked like a typical Hollywood split, but inside, it was a classic breakdown of priorities, values, and communication. And then there's the possibility that the spark simply faded. Over time, as happens with many couples in the spotlight, they may have just started seeing the future differently. In Hollywood, it's not uncommon for once-aligned partners to wake up and realize they no longer want the same life. After the divorce documents were filed, legal battles began. Christine demanded substantial payments for the support of the children and disputed the prenuptial agreement. Costner, on the other hand, maintained that he was already fulfilling all financial obligations to his family. The court hearings attracted considerable media attention as Costner's divorce became one of the most discussed topics in 2023. Ultimately, the court ruled that Christine must leave Kevin's home since it belonged to him before the marriage. The amount of alimony was also reviewed, and the court upheld Costner's demands on this issue. After the official dissolution of the marriage, Kevin focused on his career and continued working on new projects, including films where he acted as director and producer. Christine, in turn, began a new chapter in her life, focusing on her children and personal projects. Although the divorce was not easy and accompanied by scandals, both sides tried to maintain respectful relations for the children's sake. The woman behind the star. Who is Christine Baumgartner? Christine Baumgartner may have spent nearly 2 decades as the wife of one of Hollywood's biggest stars, but she's always had her own thing going on. Born on March 4, 1974, she's 19 years younger than Kevin Costner, and never just the woman standing next to the leading man. Long before the red carpets and courtrooms, Christine knew how to work a camera. In the 80s, she kicked off her career as a model. Striking poses might have come naturally, but Christine wasn't just another pretty face. She was all about business, literally. She earned a degree in business from California State University, Fullerton, and made sure it paid off. Christine launched her own luxury handbag line, Cat Bag Couture, which was a major hit in the mid-2000s. Her fashion-forward laptop bags weren't just stylish, they were Hollywood-approved. They even landed a spot on Desperate Housewives, which, at the time, was the ultimate stamp of pop culture relevance. While her husband was off filming westerns and bodyguarding Whitney Houston, Christine was busy building her own brand. She wasn't just behind the scenes either. She had a taste of the spotlight, too. She made appearances on Inside Edition, Entertainment Tonight, and E! Live from the Red Carpet. But if you're looking for Christine online, don't bother. Unlike Kevin, who updates fans on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, Christine has completely stayed off social media. No filters, no captions, no likes, just silence. And honestly, that only adds to her mystique. Although Christine is not a fan of the internet, in January this year, she broke the internet. Divorced, not defeated. How Kevin's ex reclaimed the spotlight. Kevin Costner's ex-wife, Christine Baumgartner, is officially off the market. The 51-year-old handbag designer just got engaged to her boyfriend of over a year, Josh Connor. And here's the twist. He's not just anyone. He's one of Kevin's former friends. Shocking, right? The proposal happened on January 26th, right on the beach in Santa Barbara. It was one of those almost too perfect moments. A storm was brewing, the beach was nearly empty, and just as the clouds gathered, Josh dropped to one knee. A source told people it felt like something out of a movie. Poetic, private, and perfectly timed. Christine said yes. Their friends weren't exactly shocked. The two had just spent Christmas together in New York, where their love story apparently kicked off. According to insiders, they're over the moon and can't wait to start this next chapter together. But this engagement didn't come out of nowhere. Christine and Josh had been quietly building something for a while, long before they ever went public. Paparazzi first caught them looking cozy back in December outside Top Chef winner Harold Dieterle's hot new spot, Il Totano, in the West Village. They were all smiles, with Josh shielding Christine from the rain with an umbrella like a scene straight out of a rom-com. But behind the sweetness? A web of past connections. Here's where things get even messier. Josh wasn't just some random guy Christine met after her divorce. He used to be their neighbor, the guy next door when Christine and Kevin were still married, and when the couple split after 18 years together in May 2023, Josh's name started popping up in all the wrong places. Not just in rumors, but in court. During a heated child support hearing in August, Christine's lawyer insisted that she and Josh were just friends and nothing more. That was after they were spotted vacationing together in Hawaii with her and Kevin's 3 kids, no less. Caden, 17, Hayes, 15, and Grace, 14, were all on that tropical getaway. But months later, Christine and Josh were photographed holding hands. By January 2024, the cat was officially out of the bag. One of their friends confirmed the relationship, adding that it had started as a friendship and blossomed into something else. They share the same values, the source told People. Christine feels so happy and supported. They're in love, and this engagement just feels like the natural next step. Meanwhile, Kevin's corner of the story hasn't exactly been a fairy tale. The Yellowstone star was reportedly suspicious about Christine and Josh long before they went public. Though he's never commented on their relationship, insiders said he had a gut feeling something was brewing. And judging by how fast things moved after the divorce, and how close Josh had been to the couple, it's not hard to see why. When their divorce wrapped up last year, Costner was ordered to pay Christine $63,209 per month in child support. And while Christine seems to be moving on, glowing, engaged, and doing just fine, Kevin hasn't exactly had it easy. From ongoing tension around Yellowstone to personal dramas making tabloid rounds, it's like his real life has become messier than any role he's ever played on screen. Christine, on the other hand, seems to be having a second act no one saw coming, and she's doing it her way. Ring, romance, and all. The lawsuit against Kevin Costner. Costner is no stranger to controversy, but 2023 brought a whole new level of heat. The 70-year-old actor and director is now facing a sexual harassment lawsuit from a stunt performer who claims she was forced to act out a violent, unscripted rape scene on the set of Horizon: An American Saga, Chapter 2. The alleged scene happened without warning, without consent, and without a legally required intimacy coordinator present, a standard now considered mandatory on professional film sets. The stuntwoman, Devin Labella, has worked on high-profile projects like Barbie and Yellow Jackets. She's suing for an undisclosed amount and is demanding a trial by jury. In a statement to The Hollywood Reporter, she didn't hold back. She said she was left exposed, unprotected, and deeply betrayed by a system that promised safety and professionalism. According to the lawsuit filed in California, she was acting as the stunt double for Ella Hunt when she was told on the spot to perform a violent, unscripted rape scene on an open set, meaning anyone could walk in and watch. Labella is suing not only Costner, but also the production companies behind Horizon, along with 10 other unnamed individuals. Costner's attorney, Marty Singer, came out swinging in defense, calling the claim absolutely false and insisting that Costner always prioritizes on-set safety. In a statement to Business Insider, Singer said, "Our client Kevin Costner always wants to make sure that everyone is comfortable working on his films and takes safety on set very seriously. It's not the first time Horizon has drawn attention, though. Originally, it was meant to be for artistic reasons. Costner is deeply invested in this Western film series, which he co-wrote, produced, directed, and stars in. Set during the Civil War and covering a span of 15 years, the saga was meant to be a passion project. But instead, it's becoming the center of a different kind of storm, and not the first in Costner's career. Waterworld, the now infamous 1995 post-apocalyptic action film that nearly drowned his career. Costner produced, starred in, and later took over directing duties after creative tensions exploded on set. The film, set in a future where Earth is flooded and dry land is a myth, ballooned into one of the most expensive movies ever made at the time, reportedly costing $175 million. From the beginning, it was plagued by disaster. Costner was injured during a stunt, a hurricane destroyed one of the major sets, and production delays spiraled out of control. Costner even put in $22 million of his own money to keep the project afloat. When it finally hit theaters, critics were merciless. The film was slammed for its uneven tone, bloated budget, and messy storytelling. Although it eventually recouped some of its cost overseas, Waterworld was branded a Hollywood catastrophe. The backlash hit Costner hard. His next directorial effort, The Postman, was another flop, earning him Razzies for Worst Actor and Worst Director. It seemed like Costner couldn't catch a break, and his once golden career began to slide into a long, quiet downturn. Ironically, his earlier directorial debut had been a triumph. Dances with Wolves, released in 1990, won 7 Academy Awards, including Best Picture and Best Director for Costner. It was praised for offering a more respectful, nuanced portrayal of Native American life than previous Westerns. Costner was even embraced by the Lakota Sioux tribe, whose members appeared in the film and supported its vision. But that goodwill didn't last. 5 years later, the New York Times reported that the Lakota Sioux felt betrayed by Costner after he proposed building a casino, golf course, and luxury resort on sacred land in Deadwood, South Dakota. Though he offered to trade a 600-acre plot of land nearby as a concession, the tribe resisted. Costner and his brother Dan did end up acquiring land, 1,000 acres to be exact. But the grand resort never came to life. Instead, in 2013, the land was put up for sale for $14 million. One more piece of fallout still lingers. Costner is in a years-long legal dispute with the sculptor he commissioned to create a massive bronze piece for the failed resort. The project collapsed, but the legal battle continues. And then there's the Stephen Baldwin fiasco. In the wake of the 2010 Deepwater Horizon oil spill, Costner found himself in court yet again, this time accused of defrauding Baldwin and his business partner, Spiridon Contoguris. The two claimed Costner had secretly closed a lucrative deal with BP for oil-water separation technology, a product developed by Costner's company, just before they sold off their shares. They sued for $17 million in damages, arguing they had been misled and cheated out of a windfall. But after a 2-week trial, the jury sided with Costner. Baldwin and Contoguris walked away with nothing. Still, the case kept Costner's name in the headlines for all the wrong reasons. And now, as Horizon Chapter 2 faces backlash, legal scrutiny, and public outrage, Costner finds himself once again fighting to defend his reputation, not as a leading man or a visionary director, but as the powerful figure at the center of an increasingly messy and disturbing lawsuit. Labella's accusations are serious. She's not just alleging breach of contract or bad behavior. She's accusing Costner's team of exposing her to emotional trauma and violating legal standards meant to protect performers during intimate or violent scenes. And the fact that it happened on an open set, where anyone could watch, only makes the allegations more chilling. It's not just about Costner's actions, it's about what was allowed to happen under his leadership. The question now isn't whether Costner can recover artistically. It's whether the public and the industry will continue to support someone with such a long trail of controversies behind him. He once rode high as Hollywood's golden boy, delivering sweeping epics like Dances with Wolves. Then he stumbled through critical disasters like Waterworld and The Postman. He tried to make a comeback with prestige TV, Yellowstone, and ambitious passion projects like Horizon. But these lawsuits and unresolved feuds are starting to overshadow the work itself. For Costner, the stakes have never been higher. And this time, it's not just about box office numbers. It's about accountability. What are your thoughts on Baumgartner's new man? Share your thoughts with us in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Also, click the next video shown on your screen. You will enjoy it.